This program is a satire about true crimes and their consequences. It may therefore contain descriptions of violence against people and animals, strong language, as well as other triggering content, and may not be suitable for those under the age of 16. We neither endorse nor condone any illegal actions. So please, don't go chopping anybody up.
That has more than 3 syllables, so I'm like screwed. So, in the U.S., someone commits a murder every 30 minutes. Many of those killers are convicted and then imprisoned because criminals are dumb. During this podcast, we will examine where they went wrong and analyze their mistakes. We're not dumb enough to kill, but if we were, we would kill smarter.
Well, welcome, guys, to Kill Smarter. I am Jay Burns, actor, comedian, writer. I am joined with me, as always, my great friend, the Huck Finn to my Tom Sawyer on this Mississippi River of crazy, Aaron Lydecker. Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing so good tonight. It's hot, but I'm managing.
I have a fan on, so I can understand. Anyway, my friend, we have some fun tonight. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? You've psyched me up for this. I'm a little psyched up.
I tell you what, I like to do my research. I do my research, and like when I find something interesting, I'll dig and dig and dig. I might have too much info. We'll just have to play it as we go. Right. We might have to play it as we go.
I got to be honest with you. Today, I was researching for other episodes for us, and I stumbled on a Reddit group called like Crime Scenes.
Oh.
And I was slightly disturbed, I'm going to be honest with you, but I found a couple of really good cases. And I got to be honest, I think there's some interesting ones that I think we may enjoy. So I'm all there with you.
Like we've said, a murder happens every 30 seconds. I mean,
absolutely it does.
As long as people keep killing, we're in business.
As long as Americans stay Americans, we are good.
As long as people disobey the Judeo-Christian rule of thou shalt not kill, thou shalt podcast. Okay,
exactly. Thou shalt indeed podcast. Well, let's toss it over to you for our case for today.
Jay, strangulation, you got it. Boiling bodies, why not? Necrophilia, obviously. Between 1970 and 1983, 12 young men were killed in a ghoulish killing spree by Fraserburgh, Scotland's noted homosexual, Dennis Nilsen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. All right.
Now, Dennis Nilsen recognized himself as a homosexual, was uncomfortable with this, and began acting, what would you say, on his desires, impulses through murder and dismemberment. That has more than 3 syllables, so I'm like screwed. So we're going to get into the crux of it, but Nilsen's first victim was in 1978. And then he went on to kill, according to his confession, 12 young men and dissect their bodies, boil them, chop them up, bang them, and, just chill with them. We'll get into that. And when captured in 1983, it quickly became apparent that had the police linked a series of reported incidents from lucky escapes, because sometimes this guy let his person escape, over the previous 5 years, they might have halted his killing spree a lot sooner. So this guy is a homosexual, and he's not okay with that. He's not okay with who he is, and he takes it out, all his sexual escapades, and then after he's done, he kills these guys.
Like you do.
I mean, there's healthier ways to deal with this. I'm assuming like he did, therapy obviously was out of the question. He just wanted to jump right to chopping up. But I really want to get into a little bit of the history, and I don't really want to like do history all the time, but I think it's really, a lot of times something in the past triggered.
Oh, 100%. Not
okay.
There's 100% of the time every killer.
Well, after this, you may say 99. Okay, because he was born in Scotland. Okay, and his parents had this really unhealthy marriage, and Nilsen, his mother, and his siblings left to live with his maternal grandfather, okay, who Nilsen like absolutely adored. And he claimed that what triggered his behavioral psychopathology was when his grandfather died unexpectedly, and at just 6 years old, he went to view the corpse. Now, okay, I mean, honestly, I remember when my grandfather died, I was 5 years old, and I went to the wake, and I remember that day like it was just like I can remember like walking up to the coffin, and like I don't think I really I didn't understand that the body was cold,
right,
or anything. I just thought he was sleeping, but that can trigger
that's a trauma waiting to happen.
That's a trauma waiting to happen. I remember the thing is like that, and I've always been obsessed with death. Okay, not just like the gruesome part, but like what happens like when you die, right?
Yeah.
So I remember my father coming over like early in the morning to my grandmother's, who I was staying at, and telling me my grandfather died, and I kind of didn't know what that meant. Like I just meant, okay, I was only 5. So then we went to the funeral home, and I remember like walking in the door. I remember the guys like holding the door for us. I remember going up to him. I remember I had a Michael Jackson shirt on. It was like before the wake, Yeah. So like, it's just like, so I mean, I could see how that could trigger someone, but I don't know if it would drive me to kill personally.
I mean, let's be fair.
Yeah.
It did not. As far as we know, you have not murdered.
I have never murdered, allegedly.
Allegedly. In a court of law, you have not done this.
In a court of law, I was acquitted.
But you're right. Like this, I mean, and again, I am very much of the mindset that there's always a triggering event. But I don't necessarily, I mean, I get that he says that seeing his grandfather laid out may have been, but maybe it was more, and based on just the information you're giving me and the little that I know of Dennis Nilsen, whatever, I think maybe he had such a horrible home life, and his grandfather was at Oasis, and then he wasn't there anymore. And so now he's going to deal with the consequences of now the one good person in his life is gone again. He's got nobody.
Yeah. And this led to his mother got married again. Her and her new husband had 4 kids. So Nilsen felt lonely and withdrawn. And he's aware of his homosexual attractions, and he knew them. He claimed no sexual encounters like when he was younger, but I mean, this is like a normal dude. He enlisted in the army, and became like a cook and all this stuff, and he actually learned skills that would later serve him during his killing spree. I mean, what is it with killers like taking their work home with them?
I mean,
like,
I mean, it's demonstrable skills. I mean, when you get a job you love, and then you find a hobby you love, you kind of merge them together. I mean, that's what happens.
I mean,
John Wayne Gacy loved like raping and murdering little boys, and he loved clowns. So merge them together.
Now, was he a clown in like was
Pogo.
Gacy a clown in a circus?
Not in a circus, no. He did it for like the JCs and like some of the in the town, like that kind of thing. He dressed up as a clown and did birthday parties, things like that. But
okay,
mostly for the JCs, his like a organization in the town, but not in a circus. But again, like obviously Ringling Brothers has a pretty good filtering process that they're like, I don't know. You're like hanging out with those little kids a little too much. Those 12-year-old boys.
What's your scariest clown? I like Pennywise. I like Gacy. Okay, Gacy is my go-to. All right,
Pogo for the win.
Yeah.
Who am I most afraid of underneath the floorboards?
What did you just say?
Underneath the floorboards. Gacy used to put all his victims underneath the floorboards with lye.
I thought you were just foreshadowing this episode, because this guy also did that.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Sorry.
No, spoiler alert.
I know, right?
After the army, he went to the police training. He was like, he took up police training, and like that's where he discovered his love for autopsied bodies in the morgue. And he left the force to become a recruitment officer. Now that's like backstory that kind of like lays the groundwork for what comes next. And his first victim was a man named David Painter. This was Nilsen's first official brush with the police, you may say. Pun intended.
Yeah. No, I knew you were. I know you were. Yeah.
This is in 1973. Now, Nilsen met him through work. This guy went to the police when he woke up in the night and found Nilsen taking pictures of him as he slept.
And this is back in the day when like these were not like it's not like an iPhone picture.
No. This guy had to set up. This guy had a whole setup. Yeah. he's like under the curtain the hood. It's like you wake up a puff of smoke. Nothing. Nothing.
Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
Yeah, because with an iPhone, it's so easy to take pictures of people while they sleep. I mean, I do it all the time on trains.
Way to sound creepy. Sound creepy, Aaron. You went so creepy so fast.
I used to, I honestly, like when I like go to New York, I would take pictures of people sleeping on trains and then like put like a little thought bubble over their head and like make them having stupid dreams.
Oh man.
Not being the Photoshop master I am. Man, my wife never liked when I did that. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm taking pictures of this guy sleeping. What should he be dreaming? You know?"
Yeah. That's what she's worried about.
Yeah. Right. So in '75, he moves in with this dude David. Okay, and they deny a homosexual relationship, but I mean, they were living together for 2 years, and after this guy David left, that is when Nilsen said he actually began his downward spiral of alcohol and loneliness. This is where it gets good because this guy kills, like, if it was in a movie, I would be like, oh, I'm not going to suspend disbelief to like think someone would do that. And maybe that's, me being naive. Okay. But I want to go through, he said he killed 12 people, but he actually killed a lot more than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you'll find out he's only charged for 6 because there was no proof. But I'm going to talk about the ones they had proof because this is fascinating.
Okay.
So I shouldn't be laughing at this shit. But like if you look at this guy, he looks like a young, skinny Stephen King.
He does. He really does. I've seen pictures. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen pictures.
Okay, so you know Nilsen. You're familiar with the Nilsens. Okay. The Nilsens. It's like, what is this? Like a sitcom from the 50s?
Yeah. Like this is the off
brother. Mr. Nilsen.
This is the off brother from Cheap Trick that doesn't show up.
Well, this guy was killing people for pulling some cheap tricks. I can tell you that right now. We're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. You want any wine with that cheese? So first victim. Picture it. 1978. This guy takes a guy home. The next morning he feels bad. He's like, God, I don't want to be a homosexual. What the fuck, So in an effort to calm himself, he strangles this guy with a tie and drowns him in a bucket of water.
Okay.
A bucket of water, like that is like so weird to me.
Why?
Because like, why not a tub or something? Like a bucket of water, you gotta, but it just seems like you have to get the head in there at the right angle and like
there's a famous I don't know who it is, but there's a famous somebody, it's like something, it's like it only takes an inch of water to murder, like to drown.
I think the truth to that is 3 inches. There's a band called 3 Inches of Blood, and I'm not even kidding. And someone was like, why did you call yourself 3 inches of blood? And they said, because 3 inches is the amount of liquid you need to drown.
Oh, all right.
So that's 3 inches of blood. That's actually probably a really sick name for a band. I love that.
It is a good name for a band, actually.
So we're not done with this guy. Okay. So after he strangles this guy with a tie and drowns him in a bucket of water, he takes him to the bathroom, washes him up, places him back in bed, attempted to have sex unsuccessfully, and then spent the night sleeping next to the dead guy.
Aww.
Little killer's remorse, maybe.
Or, hey, just a little cuddle. Some people just want some like non-living human connection.
I mean, let's before rigor mortis sets in, it's game.
Absolutely.
right?
Body's still warm at that point in time. You know, you can
Yeah.
have a little cuddle. It's nice.
He finally hid the corpse under the floorboards for 7 months. That's a long time.
That's a very long time. That's a stinky amount of time.
Dude, that is like, I don't believe in ghosts. I would be scared that guy would come get me. It'd be like a creep show episode.
What's what's his name? It's Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart, you know?
Yeah.
You just feel like that pulsing of his, you know, once living heart.
When he removed it, he burned the decaying remains in his back garden.
Very environmental.
This guy burned bodies. Okay. And the bonfires would be so big that people would come and hang out at them. And you're like wondering, well, wouldn't they smell the bodies? Smart. This guy is smart. He also burned car tires.
Oh, that is smart. See, stupid me, I would have been like, no, I'm just cooking steaks somewhere on the other side of the yard. That's all. That's what that smell is.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
roast pig going.
Yeah. But could you just imagine like kids just like hanging around a bonfire and like bodies are burning under the flames?
Yeah. That's
a whole other level of sick. Like,
see, the whole other level of sick is the like conversation. You know what I mean? Like after all this came out and his neighbor was like, "Oh, I went to one of those bonfires. Oh man, dude, we were talking about like Led Zeppelin. How weird is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
what
I thought my marshmallows tasted funny.
Why do they taste like long pig? What the hell? I also don't think you'd be doing many marshmallows over like a tire fire. Like that just
that's very true.
You know,
I mean, unless they're huge marshmallows.
But even then, I mean, that's a lot of petroleum to kind of like
work with you.
The bigger the marshmallow, the less chemicals it takes in.
What would you do around a fire? Yeah, partying around the fire, dancing. Yeah, all right. I've actually never been to a bonfire, so
I've been to a couple, but I've never danced around a bonfire because I'm not a witch. But but like you said, you know what I mean? Like nowadays, like I sit and we talk, and so like that would be really weird to me. Like after the fact, like I think somebody after the fact would hear that and go, "Oh man." Like seriously, how do you have that conversation with yourself? Like we sat by a bonfire. I wonder which guy was inside that bonfire that time.
Well, take your pick because he basically threw them all in there.
One at a time.
Which moves us to our second victim. This was a Canadian tourist named Kenneth Octadon. And he met him at a pub. This is December 79. Okay. Following a day, they hung out. Following a day of sightseeing, taking in the scenes, doing some drinking, went back to good old Nilsen's apartment. Again, Nilsen succumbed to his fears of abandonment and strangled this guy to death, this time with electric cable.
Oh, all right. A little tougher. Okay.
A little tougher. He's like, you know what? Last time I did the tie and it didn't work completely. I had to move to the bucket. This time I want to get it done.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Again, he cleaned up the corpse and shared a bed with him overnight. This seems to be like a habit with this guy. Like he likes to
cuddle,
whisper sweet nothings into their ears, and then he's back with his camera. He took some photos. This time he actually had sex with the guy.
Okay.
And then moved him right to the floorboards.
Really? So he keeps putting them in the floorboards too. All right.
Yep. And this one he didn't keep in the floorboards. He would occasionally remove it out and engage in conversation. Like they would watch TV, like they're binge watching. Like,
like you ever see this episode of Sanford and Son? No.
Like, imagine like arguing back and forth with the corpse, like not being able to agree on what to watch. Like I'm with my wife. The voices in his head. He could be arguing with a corpse.
Oh yeah, I can.
How insane would that be?
I can absolutely see that moment. Like they're sitting on, he propped up the body on the couch, and he's just like, "Do you want to watch like a romantic comedy tonight?" He's like, "No." "Do you want to watch like an action movie?" "No." "What about a comedy?" "No." "Well, what the hell do you want to watch?" Yeah,
I'm in the mood to laugh.
Like, I've been in the floorboards for 2.5 months now. Yeah. Just give me some chuckles. All right, let's watch Animal House. Let's do that.
We just watched Animal House last week.
but it's my turn to pick. That's why you're on the
David.
floorboard. That's why you're on the floorboard and I'm on the couch.
They're just like, I'm picturing like the couple from the birdcage. Just
yeah.
Just like, oh, my Pirin pills.
Yes, but it's Nathan Lane. That's the murderer.
Oh, yeah. Christ, I fucking get so dehydrated when I talk for more than 3 seconds. It's like I could talk all day at a conference or over dinner, but as soon as like I'm talking into a microphone, I'm like, like I belong under freaking Nilsen's floorboards, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Dehydrated.
okay, so yeah. Now this is
victim number 3. Right?
This is this is 3. Oh, this is 3.
Yeah.
So Kenneth is chilling in the floorboards, meets Martin Duffy. Now this dude's a 16-year-old homeless guy. And he invited him to spend the night. This is May. Nilsen strangled this guy also. And didn't say what with what.
Okay.
And drowned him before bringing him back to bed, masturbating on him.
Okay.
And then keep him in the wardrobe in his wardrobe, which many people are like, "What's a wardrobe?" It's like a closet.
It's where you go. It's where you go to see Mr. Tumnus.
Yes. You know, people are like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I know, right? That was way too deep a reference. 2 literary references in 1 crime podcast. Let's stop that now.
But after that, you'll be happy to know, Jay, that after the 2 weeks of Martin being in the wardrobe,
okay,
he joined Kenny in the floorboards.
Oh, so he's packing him down in there. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's packing him down. He's like, "Hey, you guys, I'm Kenneth. We can never agree on anything. Here, hang out with Marty.
Yeah.
Here's Marty.
Hang out, have fun. Don't stink it up."
Now,
I gotta wonder though. Like the stink has to be an issue by now.
He sprayed the room twice a day to be rid of the flies that were also hatching in the decomposing bodies. Yeah. But the neighbors actually started to complain about the smell.
Okay.
And what Nilsen did was he blamed it on that he said it stemmed from the structural problems with the building.
Interesting way to go with it. Okay.
Which is also what I do when I fart.
Just the structural problems with the building.
Excuse me. It's the structural problems with the building. Do you mind? I don't approve. I don't appreciate what you're implying. But
you don't need to accuse me of anything.
It's like you take it like a dump. You can't help it. You like take a dump at a party, and like you leave the bathroom. It's like, oh, and you're like, hey guys, this is a great party. What's going on with the structure of this building?
Why does the structure of this building smell like beef jerky? I don't know what's going on right now.
Oh Jesus! So okay, but before we get to that, because when I should say when the neighbors started complaining about the smell,
okay,
there are also 2 more bodies in there, and I'm gonna talk about those guys right now.
Okay,
so they got Billy Sutherland, who also went home with Nilsen one night, strangled under the floorboards. This one is actually, I read this one, I was like, oh man. The next one was a 24-year-old guy named Malcolm. And he was an orphan. He was an orphan who was disabled.
Oh.
I mean, talk about getting the shortest straw or the short end of the stick. That's actually what I should say. The short end of the stick, you know? You're an orphan. Mom and dad are dead. You're disabled, and you're about to be strangled by one of the most brutal killers in history.
And to be fair, worse than that, now he's got the smallest spot under the floorboards. There's already 3 of the bodies in there. Yeah, he's cramped, man.
Yeah.
And I bet he doesn't get 1 pick of the TV shows. Not 1.
Oh no. When Nilsen brings him out to play and all of them are sitting around the old couch, you know, watching the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah.
You know, and
like you do.
You know, Malcolm doesn't get the pick. He's got to deal with it. He's the last man on the totem pole.
Yeah.
And not just because he's disabled. Not just because he's disabled. That's not right. That's not right. All right. So
and yet you made the joke.
I'll just wheel Marty over there in front of the window. Now, by the time Barlow, that's Marty, or
Marty,
Malcolm,
okay, yeah.
I should say, Malcolm
yeah.
was killed. Oh, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Malcolm didn't go in the floorboards. This guy was stuffed under the kitchen sink.
Okay.
No, seriously, the guy had no room with a half dozen bodies friggin' hiding around in the apartment under the floorboards. He had no room to put Malcolm in the floorboards. He hit him in the kitchen sink.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. It's logical. Next place.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the wardrobe might have been a better option, but
I mean, we're not doing freezer here. We're not doing freezer where, like, you know, at least like there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, but you got to think of the size of the freezer. You know what I mean? At least under the floorboards, you can slip them in, slip them out easy. See, he also wants to be able to have contact. He wants to like lay with them, fooling around with them, you know, that kind of stuff. And you can't do that with like a block of ice. That's less enjoyable.
He wants hanky panky, and you know you can't get that with a block of ice that was a human being. But now, I mean, you think about it, dead bodies are cold too, though. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to try and make sense out of Nilsen what he did.
I mean, that's true. You can't. There's no way to.
But to get rid of the corpses, he's like, you know what, guys, I love you. It's getting a little crowded. Okay. To get rid of the corpses, he would remove his clothing, and dismember them on the stone kitchen floor with a large knife.
Okay.
Sometimes he'd boil the skulls to remove the flesh.
All right.
And he'd place the organs in plastic bags. Now, you're like, Aaron, what did he do with all these bags? Well, he buried them in the garden and in the shed, and he stuffed torsos into suitcases until he could burn the remains in another bonfire. Dude, sometimes he would have fires all day, and again, raising without suspicion to the neighbors because it just smelled like he was burning tires.
Right. Yeah.
I would get a little suspicious though. I'd be like, dude, come on, another fire.
But you know, I mean, it depends on where he is. I mean, in the country, you know, I mean, if you're in a more suburban area, I mean, that's not so out of, you know, my uncle used to have big leaf fires. You know what I mean? Like big leaf fires every couple months. You know, to the beginning of the fall and the end of fall, that kind of thing. Just get rid of all the refuge, you know, that kind of stuff. But different play. I'm saying it's not that strange, the bonfire thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think this is where you need to hang your hat on the strange.
Yeah, I know. It's like this guy like takes his dead bodies out and talks to them and watches TV with them. But what's going on with the fires, man?
Yeah. Come on, what a weirdo. Come on, wanting to hang out with people? Like seriously. Doesn't make any sense at all. Weirdo.
He had moments in and out of sanity. Okay. And in 82, in a desperate attempt to stifle this maniacal behavior, he moved to an apartment which had no garden and no floorboards. This was on the top floor.
No, there you go. There it was.
But he still had 3 more victims.
Good for him.
Yeah. So these guys, Johnny, Archibald, and Alan. No, Johnny, Archibald, and Stephen.
Okay.
After he killed these guys, you know, he had a lack of space. He had nowhere to go. So he overcame these obstacles by boiling the heads, feet, and hands and dissecting the bodies into small pieces that could be flushed down the toilet and disposed of in plastic bags.
Interesting.
Very interesting, because this, my friend, is why we are smarter than him.
Okay.
I'm
game for this.
Now well, think about it. All right, I'm gonna tell you the rest of this first, and I kind of had it written out because there's a lot of information, but I try not to read it. So there were 5 other tenants living in this new complex, and none of them knew Nilsen very well. Okay. And one of them called out the drain specialists to investigate a drain blockage because he's shoving these freaking bodies in the toilet. Yeah. Like, what do you?
That stuff's not going to go down easy.
No, I mean, like, think about the biggest monster shit. Okay, like at least plunge it down. Like, you know, it's going to get stuck in the sewer. Not in the sewer, in the pipe. I've had roommates where this has been an issue, not with body parts, but with what I was talking about a minute ago. Like, dude, what are you eating? You know?
He wasn't a cannibal though, right? He never ate them. He just liked to boil them to get rid of the bodies,
I'm talking about my roommates who used to take monster shits.
No, I know that.
Okay,
no, I know.
All right,
I'm just for my own edification. I just want to double check. Okay.
So, in the presence of like these tenants, the technician discovered that there are rotting human remains when he looked in the outdoor manhole, and
which is oddly enough what Nilsen wanted to do too. Look in the manhole.
I mean, there we go, full circle. All he wanted to do was look at a man's hole, and
that's it.
Because
that's all he wanted, and that's what got him caught.
What got him caught was a manhole, a man's hole. That is actually poetic when you think about it.
Full circle, my friend.
I'm gonna write an essay on this, but so the drain people are like, we need to call the cops.
Yeah.
And Nilsen was so cocky, he just said, "It looks like someone just shoved Kentucky Fried Chicken down there."
Oh, throw him off the scent.
Yes,
literally.
Yes, I mean, but after the drain people left, like he was like, "I am screwed." He tried to cover his tracks by removing the flesh from the drains. He was spotted downstairs throwing like bags of things away. Like, first of all, another idiotic move. Were you going to throw friggin' bodies away? Like when there's going to be an investigation?
Bits and pieces.
It was like actually the day before he was captured, he told his one of his coworkers. First of all, and it always bothered that this guy had coworkers. Like it never said what he did.
He's gonna have a Joe job.
Yeah, but imagine what?
Like a Joe job.
What's that mean?
It's an average Joe job. You know what I mean? Like
average Joe.
Yeah. Works in a factory, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine being like, "Oh, I David Nilsen, that guy, he owes me $5."
No, you ain't gonna get it.
Son of a bitch. But he actually was told he told one of his colleagues, "If I'm not in tomorrow, I'll either be dead or in jail."
He really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I love how like prophetic these guys always are. They always like tell somebody something stupid like that. Like, oh man, just keep an eye out. I'm going to fuck this up.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, I don't know like what the worst crime you've ever committed is, but when I didn't really commit any like horrible crimes, but like when I did something wrong, and I knew I was going to get caught, you just have like this feeling.
Oh yeah,
like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
It's guilt. Like 100%, it's guilt.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do a psychological dive into like a lot of these people, because like what kind of person just takes out a dead body and just hangs out with it?
You're I love that you're like so amazed by the fact that like these murderers, man, how did they do it without that guilt? Man, that's kooky.
So on February 9th, 1983, the detectives come over and they're questioning him. Upon like going into the apartment, the detective noticed a really bad odor, and Nilsen asked him what it was, and that's the point when he confessed and showed this cop where all the body bags were and the dismembered heads and other large body parts. And he actually went to jail for accused of 6 murders and 2 attempted murders, and he got parole. He got life with no possibility of parole for 25 years.
Okay.
In 1983, and he died in 2018.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's weird when the timeline
he died
comes
at
close to us.
Yeah. He died in a trip to Disney World.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was at Disney World. He got out, parole, and he was going to go to Disney World, and he died in his hotel. That's bullshit. He died in prison.
Oh my God. Oh, come on. I bought hook, line, and sinker into that. I hate you so much right now. Oh man, did I buy into that? I bought hard. And you said life without parole, and then you backtracked, and I should have put 2 and 2 together, and I didn't.
No, it was life without parole. It was life.
Yes, and then you said he
with
got
no parole until 25 years, and then he obviously.
Then that's not life without parole. That's 25 years without parole. You said life. Oh.
Yeah, I mean that's what the article said: life with no possibility of parole for 25 years. Don't
I'm
be
so
mad.
very angry at you. I was like, oh, I wonder what hotel he died at. Like, I wonder, was he at a Disney hotel? Like, we're at the Grand Floridian.
You know what? That's that's actually funny. You bring up Disney. Well, I brought up Disney, but I was reading about like these rules that people who work at Disney have to follow.
Yeah,
and they're called cast members there, which is I think is so cool. But my dream job is Disney World. I know grass is always greener, but whatever. But did you know there's a Disney jail?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would want to go. I want to go to Disney jail. Like, who's going to be in the Disney jail with you?
Do you want to know who goes to Disney jail the most?
Cruella DeVille.
No, it's not something fun. It's a bunch of perverts who are like, hey, you want me to jerk me off in Small World after all? Yeah, baby, I'll do that. Yeah, that's who they are.
Okay. It just sounds better than it's like, I'm going to Disney jail.
Yeah, no, it does not sound. I mean, it sounds interesting, but it is not at all. It's the holding cell until you go to real jail.
I know. I guess like we're not gonna find like I was trying to think of like villains in Disney, like in the old cartoons, like the big bad wolf
kind of. Yeah, like the big bad wolf.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're gonna sit in the cell until you learn not to huff.
Yeah.
Look, well, now you puff every once in a while, but no more huffing.
Swing low. Like, that's not a Disney song. That's not a Disney song. That's actually
it's a spiritual.
That's a spiritual. What you could say? Remember in Spaceballs, nobody knows the trouble I see. That's what I was thinking of right there. Not Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Okay, so how would we dwelled upon we talked about this for a second, but let's dwell on it.
No, I can tell you the exact moment where he was stupid and made the biggest mistake, and this is how I would kill smarter. Don't move. You had a giant yard, you had floorboards, you had a giant wardrobe to stuff these bodies in and a place to burn them later. Like, why would you move out of that? Why would you stop?
Exactly. And his new neighbors were nosy, but his new neighbors were the nosy neighbors.
Yes.
He was living in 227. Like, everyone loved him.
Mary.
Had that old lady in the window, like, he's burning more bodies again. But
this was the most specific reference that no one will get. I'm going to tag Jack A.
Brian
Harry.
Vincent will get it.
I'm going to tag, and no one knows who the hell that is. I'm going to tag Jack A. Harry in this episode just because we mentioned 227, and I love Jack A. Harry.
An hour in, after we're talking about eating.
After we talk about a closeted gay man trying to murder and rape cuddle people, like, yeah, that's it. Remember 227? Yeah, Mary.
But yeah, you're right. He was living in the lap of luxury.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not the lap of luxury, but he had outs. You know what I mean? He had a wardrobe, he had floorboards, he had under the sink, and then he had a place to burn the bodies later. His new place
didn't even have a wardrobe.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously had like free tires in the area that he could just burn with the bodies.
That's another question I was wondering, Rick. Where's he getting all these tires?
I don't know. That's one I question too, but I assume they're like neighborhood tires. I don't know. You know, I'm assuming he's not like killing people and robbing them of tires.
Did he live next to Sanford and Son? Like, going over and grabs a tire. You big dummy.
That's what this was all like. His entire neighborhood was just every 70s like African American sitcom. You know what I mean? It's like, Mary, dummy, I'm coming here a little bit. We're gonna hang up by the fire. Come on, Lamont. Like that was the entire thing. On the
You're
other
outside
side,
the fire here. Dynamite. That's what I would. But yeah, I have to agree. I would be smarter than that. I would not have moved.
Yes. Yep. I think that's really. I mean, that's where we would have killed smarter. I think we would not have moved. We would have kept the place.
I also would not have been started shoving things down the toilet or down the sink, because that's a community. Because it's yours, but you're going to get to a community part where it's part of the community
or at least
level.
get them into a better, like, obviously he was shoving big pieces down. Even if you boil the skin, the flesh off of a skull, there's still big pieces of flesh. You got to put that in a blender, get that liquefied. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really, like, that's another, I don't want to say rookie mistake, but that's kind of a rookie mistake,
He actually probably would have been better off if he just ate them.
He would have he would have had the shits, and then that would have again, though, he would have gotten the shits, it would have clogged the toilets, and then they still would have been a plumber guy.
Here's what I would have done. Okay. Here's what I would have done. I would have ate them.
Yeah.
When I went to take a shit, I would have went to a body of water and shit in the water in the ocean, and then like swirled around so like it.
I'm gonna swirl around, and then they're not gonna find the shit coming out of me in the water. I don't.
You'll never find me now.
Right? Yeah. See, like I don't know how the shitting in the ocean would have gone. I don't know if that necessarily is the best option.
Well, I mean, it would have been dispersed in the water. The probably fish and sharks, or fish and whatever, like, the sharks. I don't know where.
Wait. So where Scotland is he? Let's. Oh, he's in Scotland. That's right.
Oh, he should have given. He should have given to the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, but where in Scotland? Like, I mean, if he might not even be next to any water, though.
That's true. We have the advantage of eating people and shitting in the water here in the ocean state. Had we decide to do that, but
we do have that option.
Well, hey, couldn't have shoved an old Nessie. I don't know. Scotland. I always think, like, because of where we live, I think everything's like an easy drive. I'm like, oh, it's in Scotland. If Loch Ness Monster in Scotland, there's obviously water.
15-minute drive. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think David he was smart with a lot of it.
I mean, I don't know about smart.
Actually, no, that is a stupid adjective to use for him. He wasn't smart.
No,
because floorboards.
Yes.
I don't know.
I understand the need. Like, I get it. You put them in the floorboards so you have a chance to be able to get them back, and you can cuddle a little bit more. I get that. It's the need to have the contact. That's part of what was getting them off, that kind of thing. But then the other half of it is you gotta get rid of the body. You can't just let that thing sit for too long, and especially you can't let them pile up. Like, you can't, once you get, once one of them's too bony or too sticky, you gotta throw it in the tire fire, and then move on to like the next guy. And I wonder, like, when you were telling the beginning, the history, I wonder, I had said that I think that maybe the grandfather was the only good one in his life, and that's why the funeral like messed with his head. But I wonder if there was some sort of like sexual abuse, and that's really what did it
between him and his grandfather.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like his home life was bad. I thought maybe like his father, and then like the grandfather was like, look, we all got to go through it, kid. Like, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of reaching, but
I mean, something.
Not that homosexuality is something that's caused by something. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be caused by something. But it's just like this doesn't sound like it's. This sounds like this is traumatic. This isn't. He's not doing this because he is genuinely attracted to men, but maybe it's. Or maybe he is, and he's been ashamed, and people shamed him for it his whole life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Homosexuality is not a choice, and it's nothing to be ashamed. Obviously, nothing to be ashamed of. But people are ashamed sometimes, especially when they're younger.
Yeah,
because of the stigma behind like that.
Yeah, and families do that. Families, especially like earlier on and decades ago, families would do that. They would put children down for being that, and that's what would cause. I mean, that's what caused Dahmer. I mean, Dahmer was made fun of as a child for being slightly effeminate, or that kind of thing, or showing effeminate things, and so that's why he murdered men. You know what I mean? He was attracted to men. He was gay, but this is like because he felt such shame for it. That's why he did it. But I don't think Dahmer ever like there was no cuddling element.
No,
Nilsen
ate them.
Yes, he did, but he also posed with them, and he tried to keep them alive with acid and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some really fun stuff he used to do. But
I didn't really pay attention. I mean, I knew I was obviously alive when
Yeah.
Dahmer happened, but I didn't really pay attention to it. So I'm excited if we ever get to that guy.
that may be like a holiday episode.
Yeah, the Dahmer holiday special.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like the Manson family Christmas special.
The Dahmer party.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Thank you. But yes, I mean, there was no Dahmer didn't have like this sort of need for connection, where like Nilsen felt like, you know, when you tell him he cuddled these guys, he wanted a friend.
Yeah.
And these guys weren't being the friends that he wanted. He wanted a pliable friend. You wanted psychological.
This is psychological. I mean, yeah, we could go all night, I think, and just diving otherwise. But so I mean, that's how we would have killed Smarter.
That's exactly how we would have killed Smarter. I think that's his big mistake. I think we would have gotten away with it a lot longer had we not moved.
Just stay put.
Yeah.
You got the
tires, you got the floorboards.
That's a lesson, guys. In life, just stay put. Don't even bother. Just stay. Wherever you are, just stay. You're good. All right?
Yes. Don't do anything.
Yeah, don't do anything. You're going to be fine. If you move, they're going to find out where the bodies are buried.
Literally. If you move, that's where they're going to find out the body. That's another thing. He moved, right? Obviously, he wasn't getting his security deposit back. The guy ripped up his floorboards.
Yeah.
You know, but nobody when he moved out was like, hey.
The landlord wasn't like, this place smells.
Yeah.
Because bodies have been here for 8 months.
Yeah. What's that awful rotting?
Oh, I left some cottage cheese and chicken in the counter.
Oh my god!
I know. I don't know why
I felt that deep in the.
I'm ashamed of myself right now.
You should. We have talked about so many things tonight that are on the edge, and the thing that got us both was the cottage cheese and chicken rotting.
Yeah. Oh my god! But yeah. So I mean, that's it. That's how I would kill Smarter. And before we get any deeper into another way,
so we get something creepier. Well, I think that's good for us.
Yeah.
Make sure you go on to all of our social media, guys. Instagram, we're on Twitter, and on YouTube. Kill Smarter Pod. You can find us at Kill Smarter Pod on all of them. Also, you can go to killsmarterpod@gmail.com. If you have a murderer that you'd like us to talk about, if you have an idea of how you would kill Smarter, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear from you. Absolutely. So I am Jay Burns. Joining me, as always, my very good friend
Aaron Lydecker.
That's been it for us, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless. Have a good night. If you are a victim of a crime and need help, or you would like to donate to those in need, please contact the National Center for Victims of Crime by visiting www.victimsofcrime.org.